Greetings everyone, and I hope the world is smiling at you wherever you are, and welcome back to the channel for another 1/6 scale figure unboxing and review. And today we're going to be taking an up-close look at the Pop Toys take on Ujio, as played by Hiroyuki Sanada in the 2003 Ed Zwick helmed movie The Last Samurai. The review will take the usual format. We'll have a quick look at the box, then it'll be down onto the table for a look at all the accessories, then it will be out with the Master Swordsman himself for a close-up look, and then we'll be wrapping the whole thing up with the usual showcase at the end, where we will reintroduce him to Katsumoto and Captain Orgren. But before we get into the box, it has come to my attention that a lot of you out there are watching my videos but not subscribing to the channel. Now, that's the equivalent of coming into my home, watching my TV while wearing my slippers and eating my dinner, and not even saying hello. But seriously, if you haven't hit the subscribe button and bell notification icon, please do. It's your subscriptions that keep us going, and you'll be making an old man very, very happy. So, Pop Toys released this figure about 2 years ago, and it was to go with their Last Samurai line, which, by the way, is an excellent film. If you haven't seen it already, I do recommend you seek it out. But that's enough of my ramblings. Let's get into the box. It's what we've come to expect from Pop Toys in this line. A very tall box indeed. On the front here, you've got a picture of the actor himself in the role in the film. Now, I will say from the get-go here, this figure has come to me pre-owned. It was sourced for me by William Wang over at One Man's Hobby. There'll be a link to his website in the description below. This is why it is missing the card band that goes around. There's a sort of a collar that should go around the bottom of this box here, and it has images of the characters from the films and so on. But unfortunately, this box was minus that, but I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that's all it's minus. But yeah, imposing box. A very, very plain, simple image on the front of the actor. Very bold, very effective. You flip it round. Now, all I can assume is that I don't speak Japanese, so all I can assume is that this says The Last Samurai, or possibly the character's name in Japanese characters. You've got Pop Toys at the bottom there. You flip it round. It's a continuation of that image from the front. Once again, the same Japanese characters, and Pop Toys again at the bottom. It's a tall box, this one, but I'll try and get it into shot. Now, you've just got this symbol on the top there, and I believe that symbol is repeated on the bottom there. Yes, it is. I am assuming that's the Katsumoto clan symbol, but I could be wrong. If I am, please correct me in the comment section below. And around the back of this box, it says The Last Samurai. You've got this sort of grayscale picture here of samurai on horseback with Ujio, I believe, in the middle there, coming straight towards us. A list of all the contents in the box itself. I believe this is the deluxe edition. And your usual credits and warnings at the bottom there. Don't piss this figure off, or it might drop you on your arse in a muddy field with a bokken. So yeah, there you have it. That's the box. It's a magnetically clamped box. We'll just actually take this off because if we can get this all into shot, we'll remove this and hopefully none of the contents will fall out, which it has done, not to worry. But yeah, we'll see if we can't get this this top section in shot. Now, the entire contents of the box is now collapsing, but we'll put that to one side as much as we can. We'll come to these bits and pieces when we come to the accessories. And as is Pop Toys' way, they have included a wonderful diorama on the inside of this magnetically clasped box. What you've got here is a shot of a very misty morning shot. I think it's exactly the same as the one that comes with the Katsumoto figure. But yeah, you've got these traditional Japanese buildings in the background with a grey sky, and great for posing your figure in front of. Great for photography, and a really nice touch there from Pop Toys. So that's the box. So without further ado, let's dive down onto the table and have a look at all the accessories that come with the figure. Okay, so here we are down on the table with all the accessories that come with your Ujio figure, and there's a lot of it. There's a hell of a lot of it, in fact. So we'll crack on, get through this as quickly as we can. We'll start with the hands as we always do. There's a pair of gloved hands already on the figure itself. They are sword-holding hands, and then you've got two other pairs of hands, one gloved, one ungloved. We'll just have a quick look at them to see what kind of quality we're looking at. We'll take a look at one of the ungloved hands first, and the sculpt looks pretty good here. Perhaps not up to, say, Hot Toy standards, but it's pretty decent. There are some visible seams there, but on the whole, the sculpt is really nice. The paint applications and the skin tones are pretty good. There's some flecking on there if the camera's picking that up. You can see the bone structure and the vein work there. The knuckles are nicely picked out. There's fingernails on these hands as well. Let's do the flexibility test. These are a medium to hard, erring on the side of hard. So this could possibly be a hairdryer or hot water job. But yeah, the sculpt is pretty good. Paint applications are nice, and overall pretty good. So that's the ungloved hands. Let's take a look at some of the gloved hands. Now, these are more of an open palmed hand. The paint applications here, once again, pretty good. The sculpt's pretty good. The paint they've used here replicates leather. I'm assuming it was meant to be leather in the film. There are some sculpted in stitch lines there, and some seams. The wrist has got some sculpted in stitches as well. There's some creasing on the back there. The paint applications are nice, and it replicates the look of leather quite well. And yeah, overall pretty good. Same flexibility here on the gloved hands as you find on the ungloved ones, but yeah, pretty good hands, and pretty well sculpted, pretty well painted. So yeah, that's the gloved hands. Let's get some of this bigger stuff out of the way so we can make some space. The box. Now, as viewers to my channel will know, seen my Katsumoto review, I don't have the Nathan Algren by Pop Toys. I have the Juan Studios, I believe it is, version, but pretty much all the figures come with this wooden box. Very nice it is too. It's solid wood. It opens at the top. It can be used to store accessories. You can use it in the display. Really, it's entirely up to you, but it's just really nicely made. All the fittings on this box, including these corners and these handles on either side, are made out of metal. It's got this Japanese lettering on the front here in gold. And yeah, overall, it's just a really, really nice piece. It can be just used in the display to complement the figure itself, or as I say, to store your accessories in that you're not using. But yeah, so that's the box. We'll put that to one side. You also get a set of instructions, and these are really, really nicely done, I have to say. These are probably some of the nicest instructions I've ever seen in a 6-scale figure. Sometimes you get super glossy ones, super fancy looking ones, but I love the way that Pop Toys have done this in sort of almost possibly an old letter or manuscript style from that era in Japan. And what you've got is just a card cover with this string tie and what could possibly be the Katsumoto clan again, their symbol on the front there. And inside you get, as I mentioned, you get the instructions. Unfortunately, not in English, any of these, but they pretty much speak for themselves. There are pictures, so we can bumble by. And essentially, it covers just about everything you need to know about the figure, from attaching the faceplate to the helmet, to putting the armour on the armour stand if you're wanting to display it slightly differently, to attaching the swords. It's all covered in there in the instructions. And also in the instructions as well, included with them, if I can get these two open, we had as well, which was a nice little touch, was this little tag here, which was advertising the Shinko Yamada figure that they hadn't released at this point. I believe it's out now, this figure, but it wasn't at the time of release on this one. So yeah, beautifully presented instructions. It just adds to that atmosphere of the whole piece. So yeah, we'll put those to one side. Let's take a look at these stands. Now, you get two of these. The first stand you get is all wood, and people who've got Pop Toys figures will recognise this, and this is a stand for the armour. So on top here you've got place for the helmet, if you're not using the helmet in the display, and the rest of the armour if you're wanting to go for an unarmoured look. But yeah, it's all made out of wood, similar to the box, just looks really, really nice. Relatively straightforward and simple piece, but it does raise up, and you can lift this up and use this peg here, this peg system down the side to have it higher if you're having all the armour on, or have it lower if you're just having the helmet on, and so on. But yeah, nicely made, and just looks really good in the display. So that's the armour stand. You also get a stand for the katana and the short sword. Once again, made in the same wood, really nicely done. Very simple, just glued together, but very effective. And if you're having your figure not holding the swords in the display, you can have them in the display on this sword rack. So yeah, very nice it is too. So that's your sword rack. So talking of swords, let's take a look at these swords. Two swords, the katana and the short sword. Let's get these into shot so we can have a close-up look at these. This looks very, very similar to the Katsumoto sword, this one. What you've got is a plastic scabbard. And we'll just take this out and take a look at the scabbard. It's plastic, it's bound at the top of the scabbard there. You've got these, what feel like, I would say these are maybe cotton, maybe canvas strapping, which is attached here by, I'm assuming this is leather. It doesn't feel like leather, it feels like it's leather, but these leather bindings at the top here, they've got a metal stud through them, holding them in place. The scabbard's all one piece of sculpted plastic, not an awful lot of paint applications on there, it's just black plastic, but it does the job. So yeah, that's the scabbard. Onto the sword. Now, this is these are really, really nice swords. It's of the same high quality that we see in the Katsumoto figure. They are all properly made, as I understand it. These can actually be taken apart, as a proper katana can be. But yeah, you've got a full metal blade here. I believe the hilt underneath here is metal as well. None of these bindings are sculpted plastic or anything like that. What you've got underneath is a metal pattern, and it's actually got what looks like cotton bindings around it. The hilt, the pommel, the handguard, all solid metal. There's some really, really nice sculpt work on this handguard here, and just overall a really, really nicely made, even down to the wave line in the edge of the blade there. Quite sharp, so be careful if you're picking this up. Don't want anybody hurting themselves out there. But yeah, just a really, really beautifully made sword. We'll put that to one side. Pretty much the same story with the small sword, the short sword. This is, as I say, pretty much exactly the same story. You've got an all plastic scabbard here. I believe this end piece might be metal. Not 100% certain, but it feels cold to the touch, so that could be metal as well. But yeah, it's just essentially exactly the same as the katana, only slightly smaller. All metal, cotton bindings, metal underneath with the engravings in it, and just a really nice piece of work. So yeah, those are your two swords, and up to the usual high standards from Pop Toys there. So we'll put those to one side. What else do you get? Quickly get the stand out of the way. You get a pretty generic stand. There's no diorama, there's no stickers, no nameplates or anything like that. It's just a piece of plastic, nothing to identify it, no feet on the bottom, and it comes with a standard issue crotch grabber, which slots in there as if it wants to go in. This one isn't wanting to play. I will futz that off camera, but yeah, standard issue crotch grabber and stand. You also get this small bag. Now, in this bag are some replacement sections of armor on the for the figure itself, and we'll probably see why when we get it out and take an up close look with it. But I'll look at it rather. But yeah, these are designed to replace any pieces that might fall off, so that's good to see. And the fact that they haven't been used is also promising. So I'll put those to one side. Have a quick look at this piece. Now, this is a piece of sculpted plastic, but sculpted to look like bamboo. And the paint applications on here are really, really nice. It's also got this sort of rope stroke string around it. And even down to the actual fastenings on this string stroke rope being metal, because they are definitely metal. I can feel that because they're cold to the touch. But I believe this is designed to carry the liquid that they use to clean the swords prior to ceremoniously beheading somebody. So a nice touch there. But the paint applications are great on there to give it that bamboo look. And once again, it's just an example of Pop Toy's attention to detail with these figures. It's really, really on point. So yeah, you get that as well. We'll put that to one side. What have we got left? We'll have a quick look at this. Now, I am sure there is a traditional name for this headscarf, stroke bandana, but yeah, it's what we see Ujio wearing in the film on a number of occasions. It's made out of a very thin cotton, but looks screen accurate to me. The colour looks right. The pattern in there looks right. They've got this sort of gold, what looks like almost like a mosquito or a firefly or a dragonfly. I think it's a dragonfly actually, pattern in there. The attention to detail, once again, phenomenal here from Pop Toys. But yeah, you can have him wearing this if that's a look you want to go for. If you're going for the unhelmeted look, you can have him just straight hair, or with this on, or with a helmet on. But yeah, the colours are right, the screen accuracy is there, and it just looks very good. So yeah, put that to one side, and finally, the helmet. Now this is this is a beast of a helmet. Those who own a Pop Toys Last Samurai figure will know the kind of quality we're looking at here. This is pretty much, as far as I can tell, all solid metal. It's got these sort of almost chainmail, if you will, sections at the back. There are multiple sections that have this flexibility and lift to them. They're all attached by individual pieces of material to give it this the movement here. The inside of the helmet itself is lined, if the camera's picking this up in this light, but yeah, you've got material in there so there's no damage to the head. The main body of the helmet itself has been beautifully painted here. There is some fantastic paint applications on here. If the camera is catching this, it's a brown colour, but it looks like there's been dry brushing on here into the detailings on and the edges to give it that slightly weathered look. And then you've got these fantastic horns. Once again, these are all metal. And you've got these gold stroke brass sections which have been picked out with this really nice paint applications. Once again, Katsumoto clan symbol, I am assuming, in gold on either side of the helmet. You've got these cords that hang down. Really just a beautiful, beautiful piece of work. It's got some heft to it, this helmet, as you would imagine, with it all being metal. But yeah, really the craftsmanship here is what always amazes me with these Pop Toys figures. The attention to detail and the craftsmanship is really on a different level. So yeah, that's the helmet, and also with the helmet you get this lower section, which is the chin guard for the helmet. Instructions on how to attach that are included, as we mentioned when we looked at the instructions, and this simply using these two sections of these two pieces of cord that hang down from the helmet. This is attached underneath the chin guard, and it's got this piece of material attached to it. Once again, that's slightly off center, but it's not a deal breaker. Once again, that's got the what I'm assuming is the Katsumoto clan symbol in the middle of this sort of, and I believe it's metal. You can get this right into shot here. I believe this is chainmail in the center here. So really, once again, amazing attention to detail. So that's the helmet. In fact, that's all of the accessories. So yeah, without further ado, we'll bring out the figure himself, get him onto the stand, get him onto the turntable, and have an up-close look at Ujio. Okay, so here he is. It's Ujio, straight out of the box, straight onto the stand, straight onto the turntable, and first impressions. Well, I have to say, every time I get one of these Pop Toys Last Samurai figures in hand, it never ceases to amaze me, the level of detail, the care and the time that has gone into the making of these figures. It really, really is next level. The proportions look absolutely spot on. The outfit is just mind-blowing. The colours, amazing. The head sculpt looks really good. The rooted hair, just the whole package. I mean, you can become jaded as a collector, and very rarely do things take your breath away, but yeah, it's always a real pleasure the first time I see one of these figures. But we'll do as we always do. We'll start at the bottom, work our way up, and take a close-up look at the details. There is so much detail packed into this outfit that we could be here all night, so I'll try and make it as quick as I can. We'll get him into shot. In actual fact, let's get him off the stand. And let's get him up close so you can see just the level of detail that Pop Toys have crammed into this figure. We'll start with these feet. Now these feet are pegged in, but what you've got here are obviously meant to be material, but it's sculpted plastic. The soles of these feet here, it's actually got proper string bindings on top of cotton here, which goes in between the toes. It's the same as the Katsumoto figure. These things are actually free floating. They've not even been glued on. They're using the bindings here to hold the sole on and in place, and it just looks phenomenal. You got the usual range of motion that you would expect from peg feet. Not too much not too much forward motion, because what you've got above these wonderful feet are the start of what is an amazing exploration of some wonderful armor. These are all metal here. These bindings are material. All these bindings around here are material. You've got above these wonderful, and the paint applications on these metal shin guards is really, really good. Then underneath these shin guards, you've got this padded material. The stitch work is phenomenal. The 6 scale stitch work in there. The material, the patterns in the material themselves, they're layered. If we actually take a look around the back, and I'm going to have to be very careful manhandling this figure, you can see that material is continued around the back here. There are 2 different layers. The layers of material on this really are next level. There's a pattern to that material. Then there's this sort of undersuit, which you can see through these gaps here, which is another material which feels like a cotton, beautifully cut, beautifully stitched with this gorgeous sort of, well, I'm not sure what that pattern is in there, but it looks amazing. It really does. And each section of fabric has its own individual pattern. Moving up, and this is continued, as you can probably see, all the way up. And the level of tailoring to get these creases and flaps within this undergarment are phenomenal. Then you've got these. I'll try and get this into shot. You've got these pads that fall down here from underneath the waist area. The beautiful materials on here. There's golds. There's this sort of chainmail effect with these metal pieces attached. These smaller pieces here are the ones that we saw the spares of in the bags in the accessory section. Lifting these up, you can see that this gold material heads all the way up to the top there. It's just an amazing piece of work. The quantity and quality of the materials used here are amazing. Then you come up to these armor sections. Now these armor sections are all metal, and they are all individual, so there's a flexibility in them, which is quite phenomenal. They've got a brown colour to them, but also this green if the camera's picking it up under these lights. So the paint applications on here have been done to give it those 2 different shades. You've got these metal chainmail sections of material at the top here. There's fur attached to the bottom of here, and the weight of this, as you can see, the layers on this on here are incredible. They really, really are. We'll flip it round to the back because that's continued. These panels are continued all the way around the back here. And they're all of the same high standards. If you move up to the torso section, this doesn't have the same flexibility here. This is all actually static, apart from the bottom parts here, which do allow some movement. You've got this wonderful circle painted in the centre in gold. The materials used underneath this armour are quite incredible. There's a red tunic section here with a beautiful gold inlay, a blue one with gold as well. If you lift these arms up, you can see them. It's continued right the way through, down the arms, into these these forearm sections, once again with these metal pieces which are inlaid into this black material with that shine to it. The hand guards are metal and sculpted with designs in them. I'm not going to cover all aspects of this armour because we would literally be here all night. But there are tassels, there are multiple layers, there are bindings, there are different colours, different materials, there are metals in there. It's a thing to behold. It really is. It's a thing of beauty. I'm not going to go crazy with the articulation on this one, but it feels pretty good. I don't want to risk with this being a pre-arm figure any damage to it, but the articulation feels as good as other Pop Toys figures that I have in the collection. Obviously, with this amount of armor on a figure, you're going to get some restriction in movement. You know, ridiculously dynamic posing is out of the question. But there's no reason why it shouldn't. It shouldn't allow a certain amount of give. These knee joints are very good. Don't know whether there's a double bend there. Doesn't feel like there is, but the knee joints are good. The arm joints are good. Can't tell whether there's a butterfly joint in that shoulder simply because of the amount of armor on. We'll lift his hair up here. If you can just look down on the top there, I mean, just phenomenal attention to detail, and huge props to Pop Toys on the work that they've done here. So let's take a look at this head sculpt. We'll get it in close. Now, I suppose if I had to nitpick the one thing that is perhaps a little off for me, it's this head sculpt. Hiroyuki Sanada has quite a distinctive face, and I think this maybe is a little bit soft. It's not 100% for me. I think I think probably what it is the face is too round. I think his cheeks were narrower. It doesn't quite have that HD quality that, say, we see in something like In Art or Hot Toys. It's a good head sculpt, but it's not perfect. The skin tones and paint applications are nice. There's some reddening to the cheeks. The beard and moustache are done really well. You can see individual strands in there. The eyes are nice and glassy. So the paint applications are very good, but I just think the sculpt is missing something. I don't think it's as good as the Katsumoto head sculpt, but you know, this is subjective. It's my opinion. So yeah, if I was to be critical, I would say I would give this head sculpt maybe a 7. Maybe a 7.5. The hair, let's talk about this hair now. Obviously, well done to them for doing rooted hair, and straight away, people who collect and know hair will probably understand what I say when I say you can feel the quality of this rooted hair. Recently we reviewed the Fishbones V for Vendetta figure, and I can feel the difference in the quality of the hair by touching it. This feels far superior, although this may have had some product put in it by its previous owner to keep it flat. But yeah, the colour's nice, the length is screen accurate, the colour is spot on, I think. The style is right. They've even put a tiny little bit of a painted widow's peak in there to show it joint, rather than having that. And they've done this all the way around the head, actually. Yeah, they have. If the camera can pick this up, they've actually they've actually sculpted in and painted on some of the hairline, so there isn't that abrupt stop that you do sometimes see with rooted hair head sculpts. So yeah, really nice hair, really well done, and just overall a phenomenal piece, really phenomenal. Let's get him back on the stand. I think what we should do before we go over to the showcase is actually kit this figure out in full armor, so we can take a look at him battle ready, as it were, before we give our final judgment. So let's cut to the armor. Okay, so here he is. It's Ujio, fully tooled up. Well, almost fully tooled up. We've added the swords, we've added the helmet. What I have not added at this point is the chin guard, unfortunately, because you do need a master's degree in tying rope to actually get this attached. It's going to take some time, and I think the last thing you want to see is an old man futzing around with rope for 45 minutes. Essentially, it's taking these ropes, looping them around these hooks here, then they have to go underneath the head, round the back of the helmet. It's a lengthy process, but this way as well, we get to see the head sculpt. But so that's the only thing missing really here. So final thoughts, final impressions. An absolutely amazing piece, a stunning piece. I was expecting good things, as I already have the Katsumoto, but once again, I am blown away by the colours, the screen accuracy, the attention to detail on this outfit, the armour itself, the amount of metal used. This figure has some real heft to it. Just the sheer beauty of it, and the love and attention that's obviously gone into this figure shines through. So for me, to give this a score out of 10, it would have been a 10 possibly had it not been for one thing, and it's that head sculpt. Unfortunately, it isn't 100% Hiroyuki Sanada for me. The head sculpt could have been better, and it does let it down. It's good, but it's not quite as good as it could have been, I think. So yeah, unfortunately, that head sculpt's going to knock the score down to maybe 9.5 or 9. I think we'll go with 9.5. But everything else is absolutely amazing, and it's just simply beautiful to behold. It is it's probably about as close to art as you'll get in the 6-scale world. So yeah, there you have it. That's Ujio, aka Hiroyuki Sanada from The Last Samurai. So I suppose all it remains for me to say is thank you for watching. I hope this review's been useful for you. Oh yeah, what have we got coming up on the channel? Lots of stuff on the horizon. I'm gonna have to jog my own memory here. We're going to be venturing into the accessories world for the first time. We're going to be reviewing some accessories. We're going to be taking a look at the Apex Time Chaos Ultra Display case. That's coming in soon. In the 1/6 scale world, we've got HH model Achilles. That's Brad Pitt from Troy. Caustic Plastics Horror of Dracula, the double pack, Van Helsing and Dracula, Cushing and Lee. We've got Hot Toys Catwoman 2.0 from The Dark Knight. That's on its way. Premier Toys Doof Warrior from Mad Max Fury Road, and lots more in the 1/6 scale world. In the 12 scale world, we've got a lot of NECA goodies coming up, including the Evil Dead 2 Anniversary Double Pack, the It Ultimate Edition, and lots of different bits and pieces from T2 and Predator and so on. In the quarter scale world, we've got Prime 1 and Blitzways, Paul Atreides quarter scale statue from June. And the special thing, which I mentioned in our previous review that went up recently, is on its way and will be with us for the weekend. So hopefully a review of that will be going up. I'm not going to give away what it is. I'll suffice it to say it's a quarter scale statue. It is a bespoke custom piece. It's one-off. There's nothing else like it in the world. Yeah, I'll leave you with the same word I left you with in the last review, which is Prometheus. But that's enough about that. So yeah, all it remains for me to say is thank you for watching. Take care of yourselves, and it's happy collecting as always, and it's over to the showcase.
Oi.